a word we don't use much. Their wicked ways. Look at someone and say, turn from your wicked ways. And you grin, don't you? John's grinning a little bit. April's not grinning. She must be serious. What am I saying? We may not use that word, but we understand what it means, don't we? So the consequences of disobeying the truth. There will always be consequences for sin. The soul that sinneth, it shall perish. Some translations don't use that kind word perish. They say it will die. So there are consequences if you choose to live in sin. The wages of sin is, and the soul that sinneth, it shall die. Consequences. How's it going with you? Is the flood that you're facing and going through, is it because you maybe not been obedient to what God's told you to do? Oh, Pastor, that's so hard. I'm asking you. You see, so often things happen in our lives and we never bring ourselves to account. Are you listening to what I'm saying? Do you ever ask yourself, why am I dealing with this? Oh. Do you ever ask yourself? Do you ever ask me? Yeah. But, folks, listen. We think that there's no consequences. When your child is small, when your child is small, and they do things that could endanger them, do you not correct them? When your child is small and they do things that are really deliberate and mean, do you not correct them? You know, my kids knew what it meant to be corrected. They knew what a spanking was. And the boys definitely got their share. I've told you this story. Brianna used to think she went to church to get a spanking. Not really, but that seems to be what happened. So there are consequences for sin, but there's consequences from disobedience. You know, maybe there is no neutral. Well, how do you feel about this? Well, I'm just neutral. How do you feel about this whole transgender transitioning thing? I'm neutral on it. There is no neutral. Are you still out there? How do you feel about this whole LBGQ? Oh, I'm just neutral. Everybody needs to live their life the way they want to. Let me tell you something, folks. Disobedience will destroy people. It will destroy a nation. There comes a point when we have to stop being neutral and realize there will be a consequence. Now, I want to tell you something else. This is free, okay? It's not in the notes. When it's not in the notes, it's free. Okay? Our inactivity and our silence of our voice on a lot of the things that are not necessarily gray areas, it's black and white, it's wrong, will bring us into a place where we will stand in disobedience before God. You cannot be a silent witness. And it really got quiet. You cannot be a silent witness. Because when you're silent, you're accepting what's going on and saying, I guess it's okay. I'm here to tell you, it's not okay. It's not okay. Things that are being called right, that are wrong and that are evil, we need to have a voice. Do you realize Branson now has a section? Are you listening to me, anybody from Branson? You probably won't want to hear this. They now have an area just particularly for drag shows. Isn't that special? Isn't that special? You know, folks, where are the voices? Where's your voice? Oh, Pastor, I just don't want to ruffle any feathers. You know what? I've been starting problems since I was a kid. And some of you just been problems since you were kids. No, just kidding. What am I saying? Where's your voice? Silence, is disobedience when it comes to the things of God. Okay, are you still out there? Consequences of disobeying the truth. Assyria eventually would take Israel captive. Sennacherib that's a good name, Sennacherib, would come and defeat them. Are you still out there? But I'm here to tell you, for the obedient, God shows up. God comes to aid those who wholly follow Him. And obedience comes with attached benefits and blessings. Look at Deuteronomy 28, verse 1 and 2. If you obey, I will set you up. I will set you high, and blessings will come upon you. Here's what else it says. Blessings will overtake you. Why? Because God's there. He comes to aid you in the time of the storm and the flood that's going on around you because you wholly follow Him. Deuteronomy 28:7 says the enemies were deflected, and they came in one way, but they left 7 different ways. And if you read the story of how God sent His angel in the night, and I believe it says somewhere around 180,000 of the enemy troops were killed. What's that mean? God coming to the aid to those who follow Him. I want you to know that God will come where you are. Hezekiah in 2 Chronicles chapter 31 is an example. He did what was good and right at the time. And he did it, the Word said he did it with all his heart, and he prospered. I want you to know God comes to aid you in the flood. And God keeps His promises. Isaiah 59, verse 19. And when the enemy comes in like a flood, what's the promise? God will lift up a standard to Him. God, look at someone, won't fail you. God won't forget you. Now here's something. The flood may come. It may come. It did last night, didn't it? It may come, and it may be all around you. Because this doesn't say the flood won't come, but what does it say? When the flood comes. Are you listening to me today? When the flood comes, and you may be there today. God's going to be right there with you. Amen. And the flood may evidently be upon you. But let me tell you something. I'm about to get excited. God will build a bridge. You remember the bridge we built across the creek? Oh, we had this creek and it would flood and it'd be hard to get through. So we had this grand idea. We'll build a bridge. I didn't say God built it, did I? We built a bridge. Within 2 days, we had 100-year flood. Where did that bridge go? I don't know, but it went down the creek. So what did we do? We sold the land. We got away from there. God will build a bridge. And if the bridge don't work, God will build a levee. Are you still out there? Oh, and if the bridge and the levee don't work, God will send a boat. Come on now. Praise be to God. If the bridge and the levee and the boat don't happen, What's going to happen? God's going to detour the water. It's going to go a different direction. And if all of that don't work, that bridge hadn't worked and that levee didn't hold, and the boat capsized, and the water just kept coming back, God's going to come and put a life jacket on you and take you in His arms and hold you close till the storm passes by, till the thunder rolls no more. Are you still out there? God is going to take care of you in the storm. God sent His angels in the past. God would send a man. He'd send a prophet. One time He sent a rooster. Another time He sent a donkey. But in the fullness of time, God sent forth His Son, born of a woman, born under the law, to redeem us from the curse of the law and deflect the water and take us out of the storm and keep us safe. Are you still out there? He said, God will raise the standard. Over 2,000 years ago, there was a standard that was raised on a place called Calvary. That standard was raised just like those flags would be raised in the Old Testament. Just like the brazen serpent was raised, Jesus was raised, and He became the standard bearer. So when the flood comes, let me tell you, there's a standard for you. When the floods and the rains fall, God said, I will raise a standard for you. And I'm here to tell you, when God says something, it's going to come to pass. Listen to me. The battle is not over, but the victory, it was been won. It was won a long time ago by God's only Son. Are you still out there? The battle's not over, but the victory has been won. The rain still falls, but God's picked you up and He's holding you, and victory is yours. It's mine. It's mine. It's mine. I have an anchor of the soul. It's my faith in Jesus Christ. He is my life bridge. He is my lifeboat. He is the way, the truth, and the life. And when the flood comes, He's going to take care of me. Listen, when the flood comes, He'll take care of you. You continue to walk in obedience. You continue to do what His Word says. You be strong in the Lord and the power of His might. You don't give up. You don't turn to the left or to the right. You just keep walking. And though the water may start to come up over your feet, I'm here to tell you, God's getting ready to show up.